Hey, it's Fox from Inferno Fox Gaming. As of the recording of this video, August 22nd, 2025, it marks the 30th anniversary of the North American release of the greatest video game ever made, Chrono Trigger. Let's talk about it. Make no mistake, and I'll be totally honest here, Chrono Trigger isn't my favorite video game of all time. That honor belongs to Final Fantasy VI. But regardless of that, I cannot deny just how excellent this entry is. And if you clicked into this video, chances are you already know like a good amount about Chrono Trigger. That includes how the development came together thanks in part to something called the Dream Team. While Square Enix merged back in April of 2003, the development occurred prior to this, when Squaresoft was well known for the Final Fantasy series, and Enix for Dragon Quest. The idea of Hironobu Sakaguchi and Nobuo Uematsu from the Final Fantasy side, and Yuji Ori and Akira Toriyama from Dragon Quest coming together truly was a dream come true. There's a lot of different iterations. As you can see here, we've got the Super Famicom version, we've got the Super NES version, and you've got, of course, the later Nintendo DS version. And of course, not pictured here is the physical copy of the PC Steam one, because yeah, there is no physical copy for a PC release, at least not when Chrono Trigger came out. But not only do the characters within Chrono Trigger look great and have wonderful character development themselves within the story, the world itself is extremely well developed too. And I mean really well developed. So much so, it's done fourth dimensionally. Chrono Trigger has one of the best and most cohesive time-traveling storylines that I've ever seen, while also avoiding all of the multiverse nonsense that's been so prevalent within the last 5 to 10 years now, real time. I'm not going to beat you guys over the head with yet another reprisal of the storyline. Again, you clicked into the video, so chances are you know all about Chrono Trigger. But if you're curious, you can play it on all major consoles. No, that's not right. The only major current gen consoles that you can play this on is PC Steam or iOS Mobile. For some reason, Square Enix has yet to port this to current or even last gen systems. A lot of us are holding out hope for a remake, such as in the vein of HD 2D, and I believe I heard YouTuber OJ from Player Essence mention once that there were like 2 attempts within Square Enix to remake Chrono Trigger, but they both had failed. I personally believe the best way for this gem to be remade is exactly how Dragon Quest XI looks, as that appearance would add a lot of life to the character design which was done primarily by Toriyama-san. This aesthetic is most famous in his Dragon Ball series, which Dragon Quest XI does capture really well. Dragon Quest 1 through 3 HD 2D look nice, but I don't know. I just don't see Toriyama-san's style in any of the character sprites. And these sprites gave life to enemy and ally alike in both various battle and story beats within Chrono Trigger itself. Beyond this style, Nobuo Uematsu did an absolutely fantastic job with one of the greatest OSTs ever made. Seriously, this soundtrack here is just so iconic and absolutely catchy too. And I'm enough of a nerd to admit that I listen to video game soundtracks and remixes all the time, and Chrono Triggers is absolutely in my regular rotation and has been for over 20 years. But wait, Nobu-san didn't make the soundtrack for the game. He technically did only about 10% of the tracks, while our primary composer Yasunori Mitsuda, he made about 90% of tracks, but he fell ill and couldn't finish. Now, Mitsuda's pedigree cannot be appreciated enough, as he also composed the music for Chrono Cross, Xenosaga Episode 1, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and multiple Xenoblade Chronicles entries. Listening to the soundtrack of Chrono Trigger often sends me, though, to one of two locations. The first is to the many different events and times within Chrono Trigger itself. A shot of crisis puts me in Chrono's shoes as I escape the Guardia Castle dungeon with Luca. Undersea Palace gives me a growing sense of both unease and urgency as I explore the Ocean Palace, red knife in hand. Far Off Promise returns me back from the brink of death as I am embraced by my savior and girl of my dreams, Nadia. I mean Marley. Because while the silent protagonist trope has been done to death, even back in 1995, it does help to put myself in the shoes of our incredible hero, Chrono. The second location that the gem of this soundtrack puts me in is where I was when I and my older brother Kevin were when we first played this entry. While we never physically owned this game for some reason, we did rent this from our local video vault for like over a week straight. Kevin was at that age where he felt video games were too nerdy for his cool self, and he preferred to use his energy focusing on, the important things like getting girls. Even with that said, and with me being the first one to beat Final Fantasy III US in our family, Kevin was still focused on playing this entry from start to finish. He didn't want to be outbeaten by his nerdy little brother. No. I remember him going through the last boss, Lavos Gauntlet, with his party of Chrono, Frog, and Magus. And this ended up being the last JRPG that he beat first in our family. A year later, I ended up borrowing a buddy's copy and played through the game, and then the New Game Plus for like 4 to 5 times myself, getting all of the endings. And I still replay the game every couple of years, which brings me back to my junior high days when I was the little brother, looking up to Kevin as he was able to challenge a number of tough bosses and win the day for what, at the time, I didn't know would be the last JRPG that he would ever beat. This is but one of many reasons why this entry just means so much to me. I'm betting that it does for you as well, so I'm encouraging you to let me know in the comments section your thoughts and best memories of the masterpiece Chrono Trigger. Let's celebrate this in style. I'd love to hear from all of you as we reminisce and share our experiences. Otherwise, thanks again for listening to an old man, well, not yell at cloud, but wax nostalgic about Chrono Trigger.